Hello fun people, I'm Isaac Carlson, your guide through the wonderful world of Disney, and today I want to discuss who the heir of Scrooge McDuck truly is. And of course, if you're new here, consider subscribing. The thing about the DuckTales ending was that there was so much of a focus on Webby Vanderquack and the legacy of Scrooge McDuck. There was an interview from Sci-Fi that goes in depth with the creators that discusses this idea a lot. And previously, I had inquired about who would inherit Scrooge McDuck's wealth and about the fact that Webby Vanderquack turned out to be the daughter of Scrooge McDuck. Now the creators kind of go into detail about how they alluded to the fact that Webby would one day become the child of Scrooge. For example, she poses in front of a statue just like Scrooge in the first episode, and on her board kind of outlining the family tree of Scrooge McDuck, there's an equation that states 22 plus 1400 equals 87. Now 22 alludes to her grandma, Agent 22, Bentina Beakley, who was the woman who found her, saved her, and raised her from Fowl. And then 87 is the project that Webby Vanderquack was created under. That was the designation Fowl gave to her when she was created. And the Roman numerals of 1400 are MCD. And all of this alludes to the fact that Bentina Beakley and Scrooge McDuck are the kind of parents, the overseers of Webby Vanderquack. Still though, even though we knew that Webby was the daughter of Scrooge, I didn't necessarily consider her the full heir of the family. I mean, the idea of having the Papyrus of Binding only being a relic that Scrooge would allow to be found again by his one true heir, I mean, I felt like that was something that was left open to anyone in his family. I mean, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Della, Donald, I mean, even like Launchpad, I always thought was a part of his inner family. But the creators kind of go against that idea in the Sci-Fi interview again. They explain that it really only is Webby. Webby is the future of the family. And I kind of felt conflicted by that when I first read that, because I thought that Scrooge McDuck's entire family was kind of on equal footing for him, that they were all like one family unit that was bound together, and it didn't really matter who you were. But in fact, no, Webby is the one who rises above all of the rest. And I feel like after thinking about it more, it kind of makes sense. She's the one who not only is a true descendant of Scrooge, but she's the one that is invested the most in carrying on the McDuck legacy. Something that I really found was interesting in the article by Sci-Fi was the idea that Huey was smarter than the Smarties, Dewey was tougher than the Toughies, Louie was sharper than the Sharpies, all things that we kind of had already come to realize. But the thing that I found the most interesting was that Webby was always looked at as the girl who had earned her place in the family square. That Webby had become a part of the family by working to enter it. And truly, that's seen throughout the show. She's one of the characters that continues to bind the family together when they realize that there was a lot of messed up happenings that had occurred throughout their history. And she was the one who wanted to learn about the family history. She was the one who kept making sure that everyone was safe and was quite the little leader. And why is Webby going to rise to that position and not her sisters, May and June? Well, they're as close as you can get to clones in the DuckTales universe, but they actually aren't. Because they were created using the stone that was and a feather of Webby, they aren't exactly versions of Webby. And even though Huey, Dewey, and Louie, I think, would function amazingly as leaders of McDuck Enterprises, I think Webby is the one who embodies Scrooge McDuck the most, which is why even when I initially considered who would inherit the money of Scrooge McDuck, I assumed that Webby would be included in the will. Granted, there's a lot of people that are included in the will because Donald is going to be in the will, and so is his sister, but Webby is the intended future matriarch. So from the very beginning, Webby's story was always going to be one where she's revealed to be a daughter of Scrooge. And so that's thought through as they begin to bond with one another. Scrooge begins to trust in her as they go on missions, and they grow to really respect each other and have a bond. bond. So when Scrooge finds out that Webby is his daughter, it feels like a logical extension of their relationship. She already was a part of his family and was already intended to be a part of his legacy. While the McDucks had once been a powerful clan in Scotland, they had descended into poverty and were scattered across the world, with very few descendants remaining. But Scrooge McDuck changed all of that. Throughout the entirety of DuckTales, we got to see Scrooge go from this independent, hardened billionaire and adventurer and a loner, and evolve into this person who acknowledged his complicated past, made present decisions that allowed his family to come together, and is finally taking the steps to truly embrace his family. And I think that's what his legacy is going to be all about. It's about building the McDucks again into a powerful family that will be continued with Webby. But what do you think? Should Webby be the true heir of Scrooge McDuck, or do you think other family members should have been able to rise to that position? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more magical discussions. To join my community, make sure to go to my Patreon to gain access to the Behind the Magic exclusive series where you can learn about how I do my YouTube stuff, and also gain access to the Discord where you can come chit chat with me and other fun people. Finally, thank you for watching and have a magical day.